everybody. Scott Lear here with Chord. We are at Union Jacks of Annapolis, hanging out with Cale Dodds. How are you, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm doing awesome. This is so cool because we have a mutual friend in Mr. Brock Berryhill. We've been trying to set this up for a little bit.
He's been bragging on you for a while, man. It's good to finally do this.
I'm gonna have
shout
to
out to Brock.
I'm gonna have to pay him
for having us. Yeah, right. Oh no, wait till this is over first. He might be need to pay you.
There you go. Well, we did. If you didn't notice, the band helped out on this, Mark, and we are like a between two ferns right now. So if you check out the, we got to be serious.
I thought he said the mic was between two nerds. So that's what it feels like.
I will put that as the header on this.
Perfect.
Between two nerds. There we go. So let's jump right in.
Let's do it.
Take you back. Your song.
Yeah.
Hit the radio. It's got to feel amazing. How's it going with that right now?
It's good, man. I spent January through April on radio tour. So it's awesome to finally be driving in the van with the guys, all the way from Nashville to Maryland and hear it, So it's been fun, man. This year's been crazy already to be August. I can't believe it. It's flying by, but man, it's awesome. Growing up as a kid, having country radio on all the time with my parents, it's awesome to finally, kind of be a part of what is such a vivid memory to you as a child growing up. That was a big inspiration. So.
And that's cool. And that segues in because you're from Georgia.
Yeah.
You moved from Georgia to Nashville at 22, I think, right? So you had a music inspiration, I'm sure. Where did that all come from? How that all get started?
I always make the joke that my parents weren't musical, but they loved music.
Okay.
So, my dad couldn't even play the radio, so it was like one of those things where dad always had it on the country station and mom always had it on top 40. And so, growing up, we grew up kind of on the Chattahoochee River on the Georgia side of between Georgia and Alabama. Me and my brother would always fish with my dad in the boat on the weekends, and he just always had it on the country station. And I just remember, being as ADD as a kid as I was growing up, I was more focused on the radio and what was happening and memorizing these songs than I was, on my little Fisher-Price fishing pole that had no bait on it. So, man, it was just always a memory that I had grown up, and there was a soundtrack that I can listen to in Alan Jackson songs and Garth Brooks songs and, listening to Brooks and Dunn, and I go right back to the boat, with my dad and my brother growing up, and I just always wanted to recreate that. It's really just where it stems from. I wanted to recreate those feelings that I had.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you moved to Nashville, and songwriter, you pop a song out, Drunk Dial, that band 1,000 Horses we just talked to recently.
That's right. They just played here, right?
Right.
Awesome.
They cut and it goes up the charts. I think it hit like 18 somewhere in that neck of the woods.
Man, that was a game changer for me because I didn't have a publishing deal or a record deal. I was living in a garage at the time, and it was just cool to finally have something. I've been writing songs my whole life, and it was like finally cool to have something, that did something further than going into your iTunes, you know what I mean? So it was great. I remember the first time I heard Drunk Dial on the radio. I was leaving a Jason Isbell, Chris Stapleton show at the Ryman with my guitar player, and we heard it on the radio, and it was kind of a surreal moment. It was really cool.
Oh man, that's so cool. Well, and your music, of course, doing a little research, I have listened to your music for a little bit, and I'm not just saying that because of the interview.
Thank you, man.
But a good song, right, in country music is usually a truck, a drink, whiskey's real big right now, right?
Short shorts, jorts.
And a girl, right?
Yeah.
But an awesome song can make a parallel and actually take off. And Lying is one of those songs.
Oh man, thank you.
Yeah, it's awesome because you can twist the meaning of the word throughout the song. So give us a little bit about Lying, and I know there's another one you can name in there too.
Yeah.
But Lying was a great one. I absolutely thought that was amazing. Yeah.
Man, I found that just in my personal opinion of songs, they have multiple angles, multiple twists. And I've written so many songs over the years that I've found the ones that relate and that stick and that people gravitate towards are the ones that you just tell your story in.
Sure.
I mean, in Nashville, I try to pick up so many tricks and, ways that you do it and he does it. And yeah, they've helped, but the things that have really gotten me a record deal that people sing back, that I've had cut by other people or whatever, when I just write from a real place. And that sounds so cliche and it feels cheesy saying, but it's true.
Well,
there's no way around it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can learn how to dress it up better, but when you just write from your place of what you know,
sure.
It's just like it resonates.
That's awesome. Well, Out of My System, another favorite of mine.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about that writing process, that song.
Man, that one's interesting because I call that song personally The Little Engine That Could, because we wrote that song and kind of sent it to the powers that be, meaning like my management, the record label, people around me that are involved in decision-making processes, outside of me, people that I admire their opinion and value their opinion for what I'm putting out. And I always liked it, and I think I liked it more than everybody else because everyone's like, this is good. It's, no one was freaking out about it. They're like, this is good. So I was like, what's wrong? Why is it not connecting,
Sure.
And so I took that song, and I went away for a weekend in Nashville, but I just kind of holed up literally for 48 hours, got some strong coffee, and just rewrote the verses by myself for, literally all day Saturday, all day Sunday. And I said, I think I fixed it. And so I got the other two co-writers, and we got back in the room the next week. I re-sang it, we polished it up, sent it back out, and everybody's response was, yes, yes, yes. It's just a completely different song.
Isn't that something?
But what I did is I went back and went, okay, where is my perspective on this, and how does this really reflect my story? Because everybody has that someone that they just they can't get away from. They can't get out of their system. They know it's no good for them, but they keep going back, whether it's a week long or a year long, whatever it is. And I've lived that, and you can only write that from an honest place is if you've experienced,
Sure.
So I don't know, man. I wanted to really tell that story, and that's what happened. And so, we put it out, and it's become a crowd favorite, which is great because every night we play it, you see more people singing along, which is cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Thank you.
And you do something really unique, and I love this. And the way that music is nowadays, you can kind of do things at your own pace a little bit.
Yeah.
You do a doubles thing where you release. It's basically like an old vinyl record, the A and B side, right? Yeah. So tell us how you got into that and how you thought about doing it that way.
Man, we're at a time right now where I'm fortunate enough to be on a label that's willing to be open to the changing of the times and whatnot. Shout out to Warner Brothers. But you don't have to wait to put out a full record. I grew up on records, and I still love them.
Yep.
Like 1 through 12, smelling the inside of it, reading all the liner notes, and that's how I grew up. That's what got me fascinated with this whole thing at 3rd and 4th grade. But man, we're at a time where in between streaming and downloads and different platforms, we don't have to wait on that. And you can fight it and say you don't like it all you want, but I've learned to embrace it because it allows me to release more music. And instead of releasing 12 songs in the beginning of 2017 and not putting anything out for another 2 years, I can put out 2 here, 2 there, 2 there, 2 the next month. And I'm actually releasing more music than I would if I were to put 2 records out in 4 years. So, to me, and who knows, this might change. I'm kind of on this path of the doubles thing right now, which I like, and the feedback's been great. But if I put out an EP, it's 5 or 6 songs, it's great. But you kind of go, I like this tracks 1 and 4, and the other ones, you might love them too, but like those are your 2 favorites, and you wait for something else. I found especially in our ADD culture where it's like, everything's so quick,
and move on to the next thing, right?
First 30 seconds and go. It's like you have 2.
Yep.
Hopefully you love them both, but if not, at least you take 1 away from it, and then when the next one comes,
it's a good way to look at it.
That's just my thought.
Well, in such an age of social media and everything being that way, what's it like to be an artist knowing that social media is so big? It drives so much nowadays. So what's that like for you guys being on the other side,
Man, we literally, I had no idea you were going to ask that question, but we were literally 30 minutes ago talking about it in our green room because we have a buddy who's an artist that I'm just using him as an example. I won't say his name, but he's just now starting to post stuff, releasing a record, and it looks a little awkward.
Yep.
He's an incredible artist, but he doesn't look comfortable. And the point is you don't have to do it like you do it or like I do it. Like everyone's saying the same information, but you have to figure out how you say it.
Sure.
And I honestly, when it started working for me, or when I feel like my, whether followers went up or my engagement went up or however you want to look at it, when I got comfortable with it is when I got comfortable with saying it how I would say it. I don't think everyone should do a selfie and sing a cover.
Right.
That's not my thing.
Right.
That's not Dean's thing. So
Sure.
It's like, but it works for a lot of people.
Yep.
Dylan Snyder is making a career out of it. And I look at them, I watch them, they're great. But, I just think it's a matter of going, how would I say it? And it's just like songwriting. How would I say it?
Exactly.
Everyone
unique.
Got to be unique.
Yeah.
And I think when you talk to the camera as if you're talking to you, not the selfie thing, but like whether it's like this or to yourself, I think it's just about what is your voice, what is your message.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
People want to know.
People want to know.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
So I try to have fun with it. I mean, I
Either
do
that or put them between two ferns. and
between
do it
two
that way.
ferns and just rip off Zach Galifianakis.
He's gonna come after us.
Yeah, I
know
hope
that.
so. That'd be a good problem to have. I love to
At
hang
least
out with
my
him for a day.
followers would shoot
Yeah.
up if that happened. There we go.
We'd attack Zach in this.
All right, so an artist coming into the music business right now, it is
Yeah.
so tough, I know. What would be some words of inspiration you would give for them right now?
Wow. Find you. I mean, kind of in the same way of what I was saying with social media. Whether it's, your sound, your social media, your look, what is your thing? Why are you different?
Yep.
I think knowing that is equally as important as knowing, or I think knowing what it's not is equally as important as knowing what it is.
Very true.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Know that you're an artist that won't say, truck in a song or whatever that is,
Yep.
and I think that's equally as important. And because if you don't know who you are, why is anybody else gonna know? You know?
Agree.
So I'd say that, and just, man, taking it on the chin. I think failing is part of this whole thing. I mean, I've reached my 10,000 hours over and over again. Most people don't realize I've been in different bands since I was 13.
Okay.
And I've been in seeing this country through the back of a van twice. 10 times. And it's been fun. But I've learned a lot along the way to allow me to be where I'm at with my artist career. Everything I've learned, I've kind of looked at it as education in college. Okay, I know what to do and not to do.
Yep.
Let's apply it to the Cale Dodds career. So, man, just going and not waiting. So that's kind of a juxtaposition, because I always say, like, know who you are, get your songs together, and then go. But at the same time, don't wait. Like, when you have that, go.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you'll never, if you never start, you never finish. And it's just like,
100%.
not to get all Tony Robbins on it, but it's just like, I feel like I have a lot of friends, or I've met a lot of people that go, man, once I get 10 songs, and then I do this, and once I do this, it's like, you're going to be 40, and then what? You know what I mean? Like, not that that's old. I'm just saying they're mid-20s. It's like, what are you waiting on? Just go.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Do it.
Adapt,
Right?
So.
It's so hard, I know. And it's tough, but you're 100% right. Even on my side of it, no's make you better
Right.
no matter what you do. So
I've heard
I think
no my whole
that's
life.
one of the biggest things,
Yeah.
Know that it's okay. That's a good step, You're getting somewhere if you're getting no's, right?
Absolutely.
Nobody wants to be surrounded by the yes person.
That's true. And I would definitely say that. Don't surround yourself by yes men.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
I think that's equally as important.
Okay. Cue and response.
Woo!
So, okay, a
I
little
know we're
different than
taking
the
a test,
normal.
man.
Yep.
I'm starting to
I'm going to
sweat.
hit you with this one.
All right.
Over 13 million streams.
A lot of cousins, man. I got a lot of cousins.
I can't even reach out to that many people.
I know.
That's like, ooh,
It's crazy.
that's got to be cool, right?
It is, man. It's I appreciate it, because I remember what it's like, having MySpace with 100 streams, and you're clicking and refreshing every day. So
Yep.
I don't take it lightly. Every day, not every day, but every time I look at it, I go, thank you.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah.
So
CMT Listen Up Artist of 2018.
yeah, man, that was huge for a lot of reasons. I mean, shout out to CMT, because they've been great, and they've kind of become family with this whole project. But man, that was, I remember waking up and hearing that, and because I just remember reading that list the previous years, going,
Yeah. Whoa,
that's
wait,
the goal
what?
for next year. That's the goal for next year. So
Love it.
that was awesome.
That's really cool. Rolling Stone.
Oh yeah,
Okay. Country artist you need to know.
yeah.
Wow.
Man, that one was special to me just because I remember as a kid going to Warehouse Music. Remember those?
I totally remember those. Yeah.
We'd go to the mall with my mom. She'd
Yep.
do her thing. Me and my brother would beeline it to Warehouse Music. We'd look at CDs and we'd read Rolling Stone.
Yep.
So that was huge to me, just because I remember reading that list when I was in 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th grade. And, that was just kind of full circle, man, because, again, that was kind of a seminal moment for
That's so cool.
that year. So
Oh.
it was cool.
Okay, so I do this really cool thing called Insta Stalk, where I go
Oh,
on
wow.
Instagram, right? I find a picture and then I ask
That's
you
all
about
the
it.
time we have for today.
No, I didn't do that one. So the one I came up with was you. It was an awesome shot. You're standing with barrels all around you,
good.
right? At George
You didn't
Dickel.
dig too deep.
No.
This is good.
No.
And
So-
you don't need to.
Thought we'd throw George
Yeah,
Dickel a little
right.
plug here, right?
Yes, George Dickel. Thank you. Shout out to George Dickel.
So tell us a little bit about that. The shot is awesome. How'd that all come about?
That was crazy. So we did, me and my guitar player Ryan, we played an acoustic performance for the George Dickel crew. Probably about 3 months ago, and they took us on a little tour of the distillery before we played, which we weren't expecting to do. And man, the facility is awesome. If you haven't been, it's really cool. And we actually, oddly enough, like not oddly enough, but we love George Dickel.
Okay,
we
yeah.
actually drink it, which was fantastic. But they took us on the tour of the distillery, and then they took us to kind of the warehouse where
wow.
everything is distilled for years.
Sure.
And it literally, you can go check it out on my Instagram. It was just hundreds of barrels.
Yeah.
Of just fine George Dickel whiskey.
That is so cool.
Man, it was it felt like a family reunion.
Start
you know?
drooling, looking at all that, right?
The smell was awesome though. It
Oh,
was
I
like
can
this
imagine.
Awesome mixture of like, cedar from the barrel and
Right.
And just aging whiskey, and it was just perfection.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's great.
So you do one other cool thing that I saw on there, and I know a lot of people have seen. When you tour
Yeah.
and you go to different cities, on your guitar case,
Yeah.
you'll show a shot of all the cities that are kind of on that route. How did that start? It's a really cool add-on.
Thank you. That was fun. I started doing it on radio tour, but it was it kind of sparked because I wanted to let everybody know where I was going in a different way. We're talking about finding your voice,
Oh, yeah.
finding your way of doing it. Instead of just posting, gonna be in Baltimore, Annapolis, Maine, whatever. I was like, how do we do it different? And I have a guy, a buddy named Jeremy, who's my day-to-day, and he's really good with social media. He's kind of the reason that I care about it so much. And man, I was just like, how do we do it different? And we're just kind of talking about it. And literally, like the next day, we were walking in Nashville on Broadway, and this homeless guy was playing guitar, and on his guitar, he had written in Sharpie, we'll play for tips.
Okay.
And I was like, man, I'm gonna have my guitar case everywhere we go.
Right.
How can we write it on there without Sharpie? Like we're doing something different. And we were trying to figure it out. And the next day, I was flying to Shazam headquarters in New York to play for the Shazam office.
Very cool.
And they have this huge chalkboard wall that everybody signs up there. And so literally, it was like T.I., it was like Blink 182, and like me. So I was like writing it in chalk, and a piece dropped. I'm telling you, I remember this vividly. This is why this is a long story. But the piece of the chalk broke, and when it broke, because it was like a long piece of chalk, it hit my guitar case and left a mark. And literally in that moment, I looked up at Jeremy, he looked at me, and he just went,
You couldn't script it any
I was
better.
like,
It's
this is meant to
perfect.
be. So we literally left and got a piece of chalk. Okay, I stole the piece of chalk.
man, right.
I stole a piece of chalk. Shout out Shazam, Deborah, I got it. And we started doing it, and I was like, this is perfect.
That is fantastic.
It's been fun.
That's a great story to it too,
It's
right?
true though. That's it. Like every bit of that is exactly how. The nightmare side of that whole thing is I'd spend so much time writing it on there, and the next day when I went to the airport, it was so delicate. Like in the Uber, I was holding it like a baby.
Don't touch it. Don't smear
And then you got to go to TSA. You put it on the conveyor belt, and if you notice, all the pictures are on the conveyor
I
belt.
saw that. I did see that.
That's a different picture every time. A lot of people think it's photoshopped. No,
That's
every
so
time
funny.
it's a different picture. And I'd set it up there, and the lines are always long, and people are like, "Let's go!" And I'm like, "Hold on!" I'm taking like 5 angles from it.
That's great.
And then of course I go through the belt, and the little.
And it's gone, right?
It's gone. It's like all that work.
Did we get the photo? We're good.
Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. So much fun.
All right, so I'm going to hit you with our final question.
Okay.
I do a signature question of every artist.
I'm nervous.
You're stranded on an island.
Okay.
You can take one instrument with you. Tell us what it would be, and if it's got a sentimental value to it, give us what it would be and why.
I have to have this answer because this ties in the "Take You Back" music video.
Okay.
The guitar I'm playing on there is a Washburn.
Okay.
And that guitar was my grandfather's guitar.
Oh.
It was given to him as a gift. He didn't know how to play it, so obviously it was never in tune. And it sat in the corner in his office. And every time we went over there, as a kid growing up, we'd go over there on every other Sunday to say hello to my grandparents. And it was one of those things where I didn't know why, but I held it. I'd strum it. I love Cowboys. Cowboys
Yeah,
were
right?
cool. They played the guitar.
Yeah.
I used that guitar in the music video.
That's so cool.
And so I would have to say that because that was kind of what sparked the flame for me as far as wanting to, learn how to play.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's got a great meaning. I mean,
it does.
That's always
yeah.
the way to do it.
And I've written so many horrible songs on that thing. So.
Cale, thank you
Scott,
so
thank you so
much.
much.
Really
I
appreciate
appreciate
it.
you
Yeah.
having me. It's
So
awesome.
before we're done, do me a favor. Tell everybody where they can find you, follow you, all that good stuff.
Okay, so you can check me out on Instagram, Facebook, my website, CaleDodds.com. It's just at Cale Dodds, and it's CaleDodds. Scott's actually going to put it right here.
Right on there.
in the edits. And Scott and Chord, I want to thank you so much for having me, man.
Anytime.
Seriously,
anytime.
let's do this again.
Yeah, we will definitely
Come on.
do this again.
Thank you.
everybody. Give us a follow at Chord 615. See you next time.